All right, welcome in, AJ. Let's talk sports. What's going on? All you avid fan lovers of the Ohio State Buckeyes football. I'm trying to figure out if I want to switch over to basketball or if I'm just going to stay with football. We might talk about the recruiting and the offseason. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, the offseason of the Ohio State Buckeyes, fresh off the championship win. I know I just listened to a podcast earlier this morning about, I do listen to Buckeye Talk every now and then, and they do pretty good, and Cleveland.com. We're going to do a reference of them here in a second, but they were talking about how Coach Day didn't really act all as hype as we thought he was going to be, but he still was a little humble on his championship win. So props to Coach Day. He could have went after what was that guy's name? Holt. Could have went after Holt with Notre Dame. He could have went after a lot of other people that kind of attacked him and attacked the Buckeyes, that we didn't have a great year, wasn't going to do anything, ups and downs, ebbs and flows and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden the light switch just turned on and we cranked it into overdrive and tore up the college football playoff. And also we had the toughest, anybody out there could say it, but I think we had the toughest path to go into the championship. So what I was going to be talking about here is some of the recruiting class. We're going to get into the recruiting, talk about Coach Day. We just talked about him a little bit, and then some trouble in the Buckeyes staff. And then we're going to do some early pick'ems of the 2025-2026 Ohio State Buckeyes and take a look at the schedule. And we're going to do some early predictions and see what I think is going to happen. So with the Ohio State recruiting class, some potential breakouts. There was just one 5-star recruit who spent the past 2 years developing, but we're going to take a look. So Ohio State's 2023 recruiting class hasn't spent much time in the spotlight since arriving as a nation's number 4 class. So we're just going to take a look. So far, only Carnell Tate has established himself as a starter. Now, the former number 8 player and number 9 wideout, this is the receiver core of the 2023 class. He's got 52 passes for 733 yards. Now, we're going to take a look at Brandon Enos. The other 2023 signees should join Tate as starters. So you might not know their names right now, but there are 9 players you need to know from a class that's now the core of Ohio State's football program. So we're talking about Brandon Enos. He was out of high school, number 38 overall, number 5 wide receiver, and he was a 5-star wide receiver coming out. He's got 227 career snaps, 15 catches, 234 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, taking a look at Jermaine Matthews as a cornerback. He was a 4-star, number 47 overall, number 5 quarterback. He has 588 career snaps, 23 tackles, 3 tackles for loss. He's got 1 sack, 3 pass breakups, a pick 6, and 21 catches allowed on 43 targets for 191 yards. So taking a look at the next one, Luke Montgomery, interior offensive lineman. He was a 4-star recruit, number 92 overall, and he's number 3 out of linemen. Now, career stats, he's got 6 pressures allowed and 133 blocking snaps. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Now we're going to go to Jelani Thurman, the tight end. Number 111th overall, the number 4th tight end, 4-star recruit, 189 career snaps so far, 6 catches for 60 yards and 1 touchdown. That is all. So hopefully he can start producing here next season. Malik Hartford, number 161st player overall, number 11th safety, 4-star. These guys are going to have to step it up. 253 career snaps, 18 tackles, 3 pass breakups, and 4 catches allowed on 7 targets for only 8 yards. So that's pretty good for Hartford as a safety. Allowed 4 catches on 7 targets, but only 8 yards. Lincoln Kienholz, the quarterback, number 194th, 15th quarterback overall, a 4-star. He's only had 68 snaps. He's 10 of 22 for 111 yards. But My sources say Julian Sayin is going to be the one that gets the start for the Buckeyes. Avril Reese, the linebacker, number 213th overall, the 22nd linebacker in his class, 4 stars. Career snaps, 309. 43 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. He's got a half sack, 7 pressures, and 9 catches allowed on 10 targets for 64 yards. So let's just say Avril Reese is not pretty good in the category of guarding receivers and back end. Caden McDonald, 269th overall, 38th defensive lineman, 4-star. He's had 247 career snaps. He's got 20 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 pass breakups, and 3 pressures. It's not too bad. Austin Sareveld, number 302 overall, 16th as an interior offensive lineman, 4-star, 495 career snaps, which is a lot. 11 pressures allowed, 274 pass blocking snaps. So that's okay, but we can get better. And hopefully Coach Day will get more recruits, and we're going to get more players as we restack and revamp for this offseason. And hopefully the players that I mentioned will start getting better. Some of them have already done pretty well, and we got to get that defense going. And another thing, Jim Knowles leaving. What is your take on Jim Knowles leaving the Buckeyes after winning the championship and then going to a rival? He's just a lateral move going over to Penn State. Me personally, I'm kind of upset about it. How could we go 50-50? Because I know he's from Philadelphia. And you can take a 50-50 look at this. Hardcore Buckeye fans, you're going to be pissed. But people that are a little open-minded Buckeye fans, you can understand him going back home. Is he going to stay in Penn State and just stay there for the rest of his career and then retire? That could happen. But kind of upset that he left. He built a good defensive program. But we are going to be revamping all kinds of new defenders coming in. So it's kind of no big deal that we're going to be probably doing a new defensive scheme anyway and bringing in a new defensive coordinator. Who's your next defensive coordinator, by the way? And is Chip Kelly going to be leaving as the offensive coordinator going to the NFL? Those are good questions, by the way. I don't know what's going to happen yet. Still early in the offseason. Now, Coach Day, he's been doing pretty well. He was on the late night show with Jimmy Fallon. He did pretty good on that. Ryan Day lays out bold career goal when asked about leaving Ohio State for the NFL. He's not going. He wants to win multiple championships in the NFL. And this is what he had to say. I would never want to say, I would never consider it, talking about going to the NFL because you don't know how things can change. But I was in the NFL for 2 years. This is quotes now. I was in the NFL for 2 years. I had a great experience there, and it's a great league. But right now, the impact we can make on our young people is, to me, more impactful in college, and that's why I got into this game, was to do that, and that's what I want to do. So I know Coach Day, a lot of emotions that we just talked about earlier in the show, that Coach Day, he was on the hot seat, and I was one to say to fire him. I was one of those. It's like, fire him, get him out of here. He's what? Oh, and considering his first win in 2019 against Michigan, the team up north, was with Urban Meyer's guys when he went interim. But as for that, he's like 0-4, 0-5 against the team up north. And I don't like it. But he's 70-10 overall. It's a really good resume. I know they were talking about him earlier as the on the Buckeye Mount Rushmore of coaches for the Buckeyes. They put him at 4. I'm pretty much right there at 4 as well, with Woody Hayes, Jim Tressel, Urban Meyer. You can flip-flop either one of those two, but Urban Meyer is probably at second because he's undefeated against the team up north, which is nice. I think he's 7-0. But 70-10, only Notre Dame legend Knute Rockne has a better record, 112-15, among college football coaches with at least 50 games coached in their careers. Nice hot stat for you if you like that one, hot off the presses. I'm sure you like it. But he could go into Buckeye lore if he wins another championship and brings it to 50% with the Ohio State Michigan. If he can win about 4 or 5 more games against the team up north, including this coming season, which is going to be in Ann Arbor, I think we're going to put him in the top of Mount Rushmore right next to Woody Hayes. If he does that in the next, 5 to 10 years, depending on how long he stays. But I'm sure they're going to give him an extension if they haven't already. All right. So I haven't really done that much research. I'm not, if you know me, I don't do a research. I'm not a research guy. I just go off the cuff. But as for this, Ohio State football staffer Joe LeBurger under investigation. This is on the ESPN. Heather Dinich is talking about this. So the Ohio State quality control coach Joe LeBurger, who worked with the linebackers, received a letter from the school on December 27th informing him that he would be placed on paid leave effective immediately. But that's pretty good. You're getting paid leave and would not be allowed at the Buckeyes facility. Now, according to the letter, Lindbergh was instructed to immediately return all university property and keys and not delete any emails, documents, or materials. So according to the Columbus Dispatch, first reported the story less than only 2 weeks after Ohio State beat Notre Dame 34-23 on January 20th to win the college football playoff national championship. The news also came on the heels of Penn State hiring former Ohio State defense coordinator Jim Knowles. We already talked about that. Now, the letter did not specify the allegations. The investigation was initiated by the school's Office of Institutional Equity, which don't know what that is, but sounds cool, which helps the campus community, this is what it is, prevent and respond to all forms of protecting class harassment, discrimination, and sexual misconduct. This is according to their website. So this is a quote. I'm not really sure. The letter is a bunch of vagaries. Don't know if that's the right word for you college grads. What is that? Can you imagine being in a criminal justice system and not knowing exactly what you're accused of doing? If you've got evidence, show it. If you have videotapes, let's see them. Why are we waiting around? And that's what my client had. This is the attorney, Lieberg's attorney. My bad. I should have said that in the beginning. It was a quote from Sam Shemansky. So that was a quote from the attorney of Lieberg. And we don't even know what it's about. I have no clue. And we still don't, apparently. So I don't know if there's sources out there that know what's going on. Can they leak it? I don't know. Joe Lieberger under investigation for the Ohio State Buckeyes for quality control guy. He's a quality control coach. So ongoing. We don't know what's going on. So now we're here at the 2025-2026 early predictions. What is my predictions? I just glanced over it earlier before I started this podcast and YouTube, by the way. Check me out, Let's Talk Sports, on both podcast, YouTube. So we open up the season, which is going to be a tough one, August 30th. At least it's at home against Texas. Now, Quinn Ewers is gone, I think, out of Texas. I didn't do the research on that, but I know Eli's son is going to be getting the, not Eli's son, but it's the other dude's son. Arch Manning is going to be getting the start now for Texas, and we're kind of seeing what's going on with that. But I think we get the win at home. Now, Grambling and Ohio Bobcats, we're going to take easy dubs on those. Now we're going to September 27th. So far, we're undefeated. We're 3-0. Going into Washington. We have to go to Seattle against the Washington Huskies. We win that. Minnesota Golden Gophers. You don't row the boat. You're done. October 4th at Ohio Stadium. Coming back from Seattle. We'll win that one. What is that, like 5? Now we're going to Champaign against the Fighting Illini October 11th. We win that. Now we go to Wisconsin. So we got back-to-back aways. After the Minnesota game, we go to Wisconsin with Luke Fickell, which I was going to be thinking buy out Luke. I was going to say buy out Luke Fickell, which is about $40 million, and bring him to replace Coach Day. But I digress, and we're not even going to mention that. Just got to beat the team up north. Then we're at home against Penn State, November 1st. That's going to be a really tough matchup for me. I'm 50-50 on a win-loss ratio here. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to win and stay undefeated. Then we go to West Lafayette against Purdue, the Boilermakers, November 8th. Then we got a UCLA matchup at home, which is UCLA now in the Big Ten, which I'm still trying to figure out. You know, it's kind of crazy, November 19th. Then we're at home again against Rutgers. So the schedule is not too bad, not too difficult, but it's going to probably be at least 3 top teams here, and depending on how Michigan does. And then we go into Ann Arbor, and we're going to be undefeated going into Ann Arbor, November 29th. And this will be determining. I hope Coach Day lets them play loose. Don't get too crazy. I think he's been getting Now, Coach Day, I think he's been getting too nervous, too hyped against this game. You just got to let it go. Let your boys play free. Let just coaching staff just stay solid, stay committed to the run. When it's open, you throw it and release it. But when it's not there, you just settle down. We established the run. We've established how we have some interior offense and defensive strength that we can combat against Michigan. But do not, if you're there, Chip Kelly, listen up. If you're still here as offensive coordinator and we go into Ann Arbor and you did what you did this past time, like a month ago, it seems like it's forever ago, but it's literally only like a month ago we played a team up north at home and lost, which is crazy, like 6-5 team. What in the world are you doing, Chip Kelly? Don't play to their strengths, you idiot. All right. So there we go undefeated. And we win the championship again because we go crazy. It's like, oh my God, we go back-to-back champs. What? And I think Julian's saying, and our team this next season isn't going to be as good as this season. This could be the best Ohio State Buckeyes team of all time. What are your thoughts on that? Anyways, love you guys. God bless. Tip to waitress.